video. So I'm not sure what I want to title this video yet, but whenever you guys get it, whatever the title is, it will be. This video will basically be about the importance on why you should heal before entering into any type of relationship. And today's video is going to be like a full story time. So let's get started. It's about my little personal experience and what I learned about myself from this situation that I was, in when I was talking to this guy. The way we met or start off, during the time we both were in and out of relationship. So when he swears up and down he accidentally DM'd me, like he accidentally reacted to like a picture that I posted on Instagram, which I know wasn't true. The man was trying to talk to me. I mean, if he was trying to talk to me, that's all he had to say. I had posted like a picture on my story on Instagram and he had reacted to it, but it wasn't like a good reaction. I don't remember what type of reaction he had put, but he had reacted to the video. It wasn't a video. He reacted to like a photo I had posted. I had replied back and I was like, no, that's what he did. He had reacted with like the laughing emoji. So I had replied back and I'm like, what's funny? What's funny? He was like, oh, my bad. Like, I didn't mean to click the laughing emoji. So I was like, oh, all right, because I was about to tell you off. I wasn't really going to tell him off, but, you got to act like, So it started out from there, and he had asked about, like, me, because I was going to the gym around that time. He asked what gym I was going to, yada, yada, yada. Then he ended up asking, like, for my number. He was like, this was his way of trying to get my number. He was like, oh, you want to talk off of here? I had ignored him because I was just getting out of a relationship and I wasn't sure if me and the guy that I was with was going to get back together. So I didn't really want to entertain something like right after I got out of something. I didn't text him back. And then me and my ex at that time did end up getting back together like a few weeks after that. So yeah, so I didn't text him back after he asked if I would like to text off of the gram. Fast forward a few months later, it was after my birthday. This had to be, what year was this? This was like 2023 after my birthday. And during this time, me and my ex were broken up like for good. I was single for a while, and then he had posted a picture on his story, and I had looked at his story and I'm like, he looking kind of good. He looked kind of good. I was contemplating on like whether I wanted to DM him and say something. I was talking to my daughter's godmom. She was like, don't be a PUSSY, go ahead and shoot your shot. Go ahead and DM him. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. Like, what if he in a relationship or something? Or what if he don't want to talk to me because I ignored him? And she was like, oh, you're being a And I was like, I'm not no I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do it. I had DM'd him. I'm like, you single? He ended up being in a relationship during that time. He was like, no, I'm in a relationship. I'm like, ugh. And I felt bad. I'm like, not me DMing this girl, some girl's boyfriend. Like, I felt bad. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, no. So I told him, I'm like, please ignore that DM. Act like I never sent it. He ended up DMing me again. He was like, no, I'm single now. I didn't see that message until a few days later. So when I seen it, and I saw him in my DM, I'm like, what he want? So I opened it up and I read his message and I'm like, all right, what's up? I give him my number and then we started texting from there. But around that time, I think because both of us had just got out of relationships, it wasn't really like a good time for both of us to be entertaining each other or talking. Because I felt like around that time, we both weren't really like healed. I thought I was. After I had broke up with my ex and sometime a few months have passed, I thought I was fine, y'all. Like, I'm fine. Like, I'm cool. I thought I was like, over everything. I was over him, but I wasn't over certain things that I went through in that relationship to cause me to be guarded. Around that time when we first started talking, I felt like we triggered each other a lot because we both just got out of relationships. We both went through things like within our relationships, and it was like certain things that we would say or do to trigger one another. I knew it wasn't a good time for us to talk during that time, because God straight up told me this is not the right time for neither one of y'all to be talking right now. And I didn't care. You know, I heard like God speaking to me, but I'm like, I'm gonna do what I want. I like this man and I'm gonna do what I want. So I did keep it like going. What's crazy is I actually had a dream about him sending me a text message and telling me that he didn't think we were a good fit, and he don't think like he could give me what I was looking for. 2 months after, not even 2 months, maybe like a month after I had that dream, it actually came to reality. Like, it actually happened. Like, he actually really sent me a message saying that. While we were talking during that time, because I was so unhealed, because I felt like the feelings that I had for him were getting intense. You know how you like start talking to somebody and you have your guard up, so you trying to not act like you really like them. So that's what I was like kind of doing, and I was just trying to find any way to stop talking to this man. I was trying to find any excuse to like cut him off, because I just didn't like how I felt when I was talking to him. The feelings were strong. It was like a feeling I never felt before. I didn't like the fact that I felt vulnerable. I usually put up this like tough persona that came from a really unhealed place, being though I had just got out of a really bad toxic relationship. And I felt the same from him too. I felt like he was very guarded as well. I could just tell by the way he would come off and the certain things he would say. He would have like these little debates based off of his response and his point of view and stuff. I know it was coming from an unhealed place. We did stop talking for a while. You notice how you could like sense like a shift in somebody. Towards the end, before we stopped talking, I could tell the difference in him. And the first thing that popped up in my unhealed mind was, who's the who's the because you're acting funny. We went from talking several times throughout the day to good morning, and then I don't hear from him until like the end of the day, and it was like one text and that was it. So that was like out of the norm, because we were texting every day. But you know, in the honeymoon stages, when you first start talking to somebody, it's the good mornings, how are, like it was all of that. After a while, it like slowed down. So I'm just like, who the hell is this that's what was going through my mind, because that's what I was used to. If a guy started acting funny, my first thought was, you're talking to somebody else. But in reality, I don't know, he might have, I don't know. We did stop talking. He did send me a text and tell me like he didn't think, you know, it was gonna work or whatever. A couple of months after that, I'm at the movies. I went to take my daughter to go see Inside Out 2 with my brother. After we left the movies, we got in the car, and it was so funny because me and my brother was like just talking about him. Like after we left the movies, I had checked my phone. I seen his name, because usually I delete like people's numbers like out of my phone, but for some reason I kept his number in my phone. I seen that he texted me, and I'm like, what he want? You said you ain't want me, so what do you want? We did start talking again. At first I was like a little hesitant, because I don't let nobody spin a block. Once you mess up with me, I'm done. You're done. Don't talk to me no more. I'm very strong on that. I do not let nobody bend my block. But I really liked him, and I really did care for him, and I just felt like around that time that we were talking, it wasn't really a good time. And he did end up telling me he was going through a lot during that time, and we started talking again. The second time around, I still felt like we both needed some work. We both had to do like some work on both of our ends, because I was still being triggered. I felt like he was still being triggered. I just felt it just wasn't a good time for us to talk. And plus, I don't really want to tell y'all exactly what happened. I'll tell y'all like a little bit, maybe sometime in the future. But we had got into a debate. During the debate, he had said some things that I didn't really like. It triggered me. It triggered me. I also felt like I didn't know where things were going with us. I didn't want to waste my time, and I didn't want to waste his time. And I'm just like, you know what? I can't do it. Like, I can't do it. So I did end up cutting things off with him, just because I didn't know where things were going, and based off of the little debate we had, I didn't really like some comments. And then I felt like he was like really guarded and scared to let his guard down. I can laugh at this now, but the day that we stopped talking, I had kicked him out my house. I kicked him out my house. He made me angry because he started popping his stuff. off. He was popping that good like, he wasn't popping like regular. He was popping that good that's a saying I got from my brother. Like, if somebody started talking that they side of their neck crazy, that's what he was doing. He swear up and down he wasn't. He said some things that I didn't like, and I told him to get out. I said, well, you can get your stuff and you can get out. So that was the end of that. During that time, that after the second time, like after we stopped talking, like for some reason I just couldn't get the man off of my mind. I couldn't stop thinking about him. I thought about him like every day. My feelings would not go away for him at all. It got to the point where I started praying against it. I'm like, God, please remove this man off of my mind. I went on a fast to try to get him off my mind and everything. I prayed constantly about it, and I'm just like, why can't I shake this? Why can't I get over him? Lord, do I have a soul tie? Get him away. Like, ugh. And it would piss me off even more was my family. They kept asking about him. Stop asking about that man. I don't talk to that man no more. Stop asking about him. It would make me so mad. Every time they would bring him up, oh, how's he doing? I don't know. The timing was like very off. The first time we started talking, the timing was off completely because we just got out of relationships. The second time was still off because I felt like we both were still unhealed, still triggered each other. And I felt like he was already guarded. And I didn't really like that. That made me be guarded. It made me be on the fence. And it made me feel insecure. And it made me feel like, okay, like, does he like me? Does he not like me? Like, it was just like a lot of confusion. And I don't like confusion. I could tell like he did care for me and he did like me. But I just knew he needed some work to be done on his end too. And this is how God humbled me. It was like times where I felt like I would say certain things, or we would get into these stupid debates, and I'd be like, ugh, he need to go hell somewhere. Like, he need to go hell. It's funny how I was pointing the finger at him. The moment I did that, God pointed the finger back at me and told me, yeah, he might have some issues, but baby, you have issues too. And it just made me realize I had some work to do on myself as well, because God can't bless you with anything if he knows you're gonna fumble it. If he knows you need some work to be done, he's not going to give you the relationship that you want. That's for anything in life. He's not going to give you anything until he knows you're properly prepared for it. It would be like the littlest things that would set me off and trigger me. If he didn't text back fast enough, trigger. If I didn't hear from him enough throughout the day, that was a trigger. If a weekend went by and I didn't see him, another trigger. I was getting set off. He wasn't a bad guy at all. Like, I could really tell he was a good guy based off like how the way he made me feel and the way I was with him. I'm used to being hard and I have to be aggressive, and with him I didn't have to be like that. I think what it was with me was I started to feel like uncomfortable because talking to him made me feel a way I never felt. I'm used to like roughneck niggas, like having to cuss somebody out, and it wasn't because of that's who I am. It's because of that's how I had to be because of the type of guys that I would talk to. He wasn't like that. He's very calm, patient. I wasn't used to that. Like, it was this one time where, and I was completely wrong. We had literally just left from each other, and I wanted to see him that night. He told me that we were going to see each other that night. Well, he didn't give me like a definite answer, but I wanted to see him. I already put in my head that I was going to see him that night. When the night came and I didn't see him, I think I called him. He didn't answer. So, of course, here goes me and my brokenness. I'm just assuming he must be with a like, he must be going to go see a girl, or somebody must be at his house. Like, that's what I was thinking because I'm used to getting cheated on. I was in a relationship where I was like constantly getting cheated on. In reality, this man just wanted to go play pool with his friends. Like, he went to go play pool with his friends that night. And I got mad at him because I wanted to see him again. And I'm thinking he's with a girl. Comes to find out he's playing pool with his friends. The next day when I talked to him, I gave him like a really nasty attitude. He asked me what was wrong, and I told him, I'm like, you were supposed to see me. You told me you was going to see me. We didn't see each other last night. He was like, you know what? You're right. I apologize. And when he apologized, I'm like, he apologized. I'm being all nasty and rude to him. The first thing he says is, you know what? I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm used to a nigga, like, if I say that to a guy, I was already getting, like, you know, ready for battle. Like, I'm like, I already had my comebacks, like, if he gets smart and everything. And I'm used to, like, if I said that to a guy, I'm used to getting cussed out. I was thinking he was gonna hit me with a, I ain't gotta tell you where I'm going, I ain't gotta do that. I'm thinking he was gonna get, you know, nasty back with me, and he didn't. That taught me, like, to not be so aggressive, because I knew I do have, like, a little, I could be a little aggressive, a little, you know, mean, and a little, you know, nasty with my little words and my little attitude. With him, like, I don't have to be aggressive. I could be soft, I could be calm, I can be feminine. I was, like, very masculine. I didn't have to be that way with him, which made me feel good. What I also liked about him was he's not the type of guy that's, like, pressed to, you know, do the do. This is, alright, so funny story time. When me and him started, like, in the beginning stages of when we started talking, we had spent New Year's together. We were drinking. When I drink, I get a little wild, just like a little bit. We were getting ready to go to sleep. Here go me with my fresh behind. I had hopped up on the bed on all fours. And I'm like, come on. I was playing, but I was playing but kind of serious. I'm like, come on. And he was like, Kia, stop. I'm just like, what? I'm like, you don't want to hit this? Like, any other guy would have been like, all right, what's up? But him, he didn't take advantage of that moment. He was like, no, we're going to sleep. And that's what we're doing. Here I am still trying to test him just to see how far I could go. And me with my little fresh behind, I was ready. I was like, I don't know if you know what to do with it, but tonight he finna get taught, okay? I'm finna teach him. We didn't do anything. When we woke up in the morning, he was like, yeah, you was wild. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, what made me really like him was he never pressured me into doing anything. He never pressured me for the kitty cat. He never tried to press up on me. He never tried to do any of that. You know, like, I don't know, something about a guy who has, like, self-control. It's like, it makes you want to give it to him anyway, you know? I like that about him. I like the fact that we could literally sit up all night and just talk without being intimate, being, like, sexual with one another. That's, like, one of my favorite things about me and his, like, friendship. We could literally talk and have, like, deep conversations and talk about God, talk about the Bible, talk about life, talk about anything. He will always check up on me throughout the day, and he would ask me, how are you feeling physically and emotionally? He would just, I don't know, it was like a different feel. His energy, his aura, his everything about him was, like, different to me, which kind of scared me and made me want to stray away from him because I wasn't used to that. When we stopped talking for that second time, I did really miss him. Not only did I really care for him and grew, like, a close relationship with him, he also was like a best friend. I never had closeness with like a guy like that. That was my homie. That was my friend. That was my best friend. Just to know we weren't talking and weren't on, like, talking terms. But we didn't end off really bad. But it did hurt to, like, let him go. I felt like it was necessary because I felt like if I didn't cut it off, I would still be triggered. We would still have these, like, stupid debates and, like, trigger. Like, it was just too much going on. It was, like, too much going on. Not the right time. So I did cut it off. But after our little situation, whatever we had caught ourselves doing, I had learned a lot about myself. God had to reveal, like, certain things to me that I needed to fix. And the first thing was, of course, I still needed to heal. And not just to heal from my past relationship, but heal from everything that I've been through in my past, with, like, being hurt by family, being betrayed and hurt by friends, past lover, just accumulation of, like, everything that I've been through. I needed to get over, and that needed to be addressed. The second thing that God revealed to me was I had trust issues. Yeah, I do. I have trust issues. I have a hard time trusting people and believing what they say. For example, me and the guy was talking, oh, his name is Vanilla too. That's his nickname. We gave each other nicknames. His nickname was Vanilla and mine was Mocha. So cheesy. I won't say his real name, but y'all can have his nickname. His nickname was Vanilla. He would tell me I'm going to go out and do this or I'm doing that, yada yada yada, and I would not believe him. If he went to bed early and I didn't hear from him that night and he told me the next morning, oh yeah, sorry, I had fell asleep, I was not believing that. I'm like, yeah, nigga, who you fooling? You was not asleep. You did not go to sleep at no 8 o'clock. Like, meanwhile, this man be tired. He be tired. He has his own business. He works and he has other stuff that he has going on. So he be busy, you know. I'm used to like a nigga lying to me, telling me he was asleep when he was with Ashley or something, you know. Yeah, I have like a hard time like trusting people. And just because I've been like hurt a lot in my past by everybody, like from family and friends and everything. The third thing that God revealed to me about myself was I like to rush things. If something isn't going my way, then I don't want it. I don't want to do it. I don't want it. I have like this control thing about me. Like I have to be in control, because if I'm not in control, I don't know what's going on. I don't know where it's leading me. Like, I just like to feel like I'm in control of something, which isn't like my intent to be that way, but that's something that I had noticed. Like I was doing it and not realizing that that's like how I was. A lot of it comes from me with my perfectionism. Like I have this perfectionism thing. Like everything has to be picture perfect and everything has to be this way. And God just had to tell me, like, you need to slow your roll sometimes. I need to let go of like trying to have so much control over circumstances and with like people. And another thing, just because someone is like a nice person doesn't necessarily mean that they may be like the right person for you. That's something I had to learn too, because I felt like a lot, like in my past, I get delusional when I start talking to people. I get real delusional. Like if I'm talking to you and I like you, then you my man. like with Vanilla, like when me and him start talking and I'm just like, oh, you already hit this, so you're my man and we go together now real bad. So no, you can't talk to nobody else. I'm the only person you can talk to. I'm like, you know, like I get the Lulu. I'm already like thinking about wedding bells. And that comes with me needing to like slow my roll with things. Because I aspire to be married, I feel like every situation I jump into, I'm thinking like, is he the one? Is he my husband? Is he this? Is he that? And that's not good. And I noticed that I was starting to idolize the idea of a relationship and marriage. And that's a problem that I've had for like a long time with me talking to someone, and just because I like them and just because we spending time together, I start thinking about like forever with the person, when it may not be a forever thing. This can be a seasonal thing. This can just be a month thing. This could just be like a fling. When you think that way, you set yourself up for like failure and to get hurt, because that might not be the person for you. That might not be your husband or your wife or whoever, because you put them on this pedestal and have this high expectation of like how you want things to go. The moment it's not going the way you want it to go, now you lose hope finding that man, that right man or woman for you. Because I know, like, when me and him stopped talking, like, I swore up and down, you guys, that was my husband. Like, I swore up and down, like, that God spoke to me and it told me that man was my husband. I say this because, like, before me and him started talking, I kind of already knew me and him was going to start talking before we started talking. I'll get into this like another time. Like this is like another, you know, video that may come in future. I don't know. But I swore up and down. I swore God talked to me and told me that man was my husband. Because we had stopped talking, I had gave up on love. Like, I'm like, you know what? Love doesn't exist. It's not real. I don't even want it. I don't want to be married anymore. I don't want nothing. I like lost all hope. Usually if I stop talking to a guy, I'm like, all right, F you. Who's next? After I stopped talking to him, I didn't even have like urge to like talk to anybody else. I didn't want to talk to anybody else. Even when I was talking to him, I didn't entertain nobody else. The only person I was talking to was him. I do that a lot too. Even if we're in the talking stages, I don't date other people. I'm always focused on that one. Because I don't know how people could do that. Like, talk to multiple people. I cannot do that. And the moment I tried to do that before, not sleeping with nobody, but just dating, it didn't go well. Because them niggas be thinking that they your man, and, oh, why you ain't answer phone? Why you da-da-da-da? The nigga don't question me. So but I can't do that. Like, because if I really like somebody, I'm not going to talk to anybody else. I'm not going to want to talk to anybody else. All I'm going to want is you. And I like focusing on one person, because if I'm talking to two people at one time or just dating, I'm not going to give them other guys like any time of day or attention, especially if I really like that one, you know. So that's why I don't really do it. And if I don't like you, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to waste your time. I'm not going to do that. I gotta like you to entertain you and talk to you. If I don't like you, I'm not I ain't talking to you. But for him, I don't know if it was right person, wrong time, or nice person, but not the right one for me. But I swore up and down, y'all. I swore that he was my husband. I swore that was my man. I swore we was men and we're gonna be talking for a long time. And that's like not a feeling I get with everybody. That's why I was like so hurt about it ending, because I swore up and down he was it. I have to explain it to y'all like another time maybe, but I don't know. And another thing, now remember I said you need to heal before you hop in anything, because one, you're unhealed, you're gonna be triggered, like it's just gonna be a mess. Everybody will tell you, oh, in order to get over one, you just go find somebody else. No, don't do that. That's so unhealthy. Nobody did nothing to you, so you're hopping into something and making somebody else pay for what the last person did, and you're toxic, you're unhealed, you're just messy. Take your time and like focus on you. Your single season is time for you to prepare to be married, or prepare for that relationship, or enjoy your singleness and just focus on yourself and focus on building your relationship with God. You know, and that's another thing I had learned about myself. When I start talking to somebody, I would kind of put God on a back burner. Our God is a jealous God, so if you feel like you're idolizing a relationship or a man or money or whatever, and you're putting that above God, he's gonna snatch it away. Not only that, I was supposed to put out my content. I was supposed to do like a lot of things that I was supposed to do, and because I was talking to him, and not to say that he was the reason, it was fully my fault, you know, for not having discipline and doing what I needed to do. Because I was talking to him, I didn't do what I was supposed to do. I didn't film my content. If I was upset with him, I wasn't doing anything. No content was being made. I wasn't going to the gym. I wasn't doing nothing that I was supposed to do, because I was letting my emotions take over. I had to learn how to master my emotions and not let my emotions rule me. But yes, definitely heal before you get into like anything. And not only that, do not entertain no man who just got out of a relationship either. Because one, baby, you ain't no rebound. And during that time, I wasn't even like thinking about that when me and him both got out of relationships. I mean, he could say the same about me, as we both were just getting out of something. I strongly feel like nobody should be entertaining anybody if they just got out of something. After you're done talking to someone or just getting out of a relationship, do some self-reflecting, because it's easy to like point the finger at the other person and point out their flaws and point out what they did to you, and that's easy to do. But what about yourself? That's something that I had to do. I had to start self-reflecting. God had to show me my flaws and show me certain things that I needed to work on within myself. Ultimately, there were things that were hindering me from receiving certain blessings and receiving my husband. Take time to like think about the red flags that you may have looked over, and more importantly, what is wrong with you internally that made you overlook those red flags. And also, what could you have done better in that situation or relationship you were just in? Because I know for me, for example, when I was talking to Vanilla, I just felt like I said, I was too masculine, very triggered. I wasn't so nice sometimes. Like, I could say little mean things sometimes. Not that I mean it, but it comes from like a unhealed place with me. And it's always good to test that person's spirit, like whoever you're talking to. Just test their spirit, test the fruit. See if they really are who they're trying to portray themselves to be. One thing about God, he's always going to reveal a person's true intention. And it'll just be up to you whether you're going to keep entertaining it or not. So ask God for some discernment. He was a really good guy. It was just either not our time or not the right person. It's just really good to have a really strong relationship with God. And that's one of the things I liked about our friendship, was that me and him could talk about God and pray together and talk about the Bible. That's another thing that I never had talking to any guys, because the guys from my past, they will act like they care about God, but their fruit wasn't lining up with like, you know, their actions. A lot of people like to talk about God, but their life does not glorify God. If I could say one thing about him, he had like such a gentle spirit on him. He had his ways though. he had his ways. He said some things too. He did things. But he was a good person. A good tree cannot produce bad fruit. So if you're talking to a guy and they're talking about God and praising God and doing all these things, but his life isn't glorifying God, the things that he's doing isn't lining up, his words aren't matching his actions, he's just like all over the place, that man ain't gonna bear no good fruit. That's just that. Because it didn't work out with me and him during that time, I kind of gave up on love. I felt like it didn't exist anymore. I had a vision board on my wall. I ripped the vision board up and everything because I'm just like, God, why would you send me this man and have this man sit up here and play in my face like this? Like, I was heated. I was mad at God. I was ready to go knock on God's door and tell him to meet me outside. But I'm not Jacob. I do not want to wrestle with the Lord. I was hurt because not only did I think that God told me like that was my husband, but because it didn't work out and because I was hurt and because of like the way it ended that second time, I kind of like gave up on it. Like, I'm just like, I don't even care. Like, I don't even want it anymore. But it had to happen in order for God to show me that I needed some work to be done within myself. Like, before he can, like I said, before God can bless you with anything, he has to prepare you for it, and he has to know that you're going to be ready to receive it. Otherwise, you're going to fumble it. They always say what's for you will always be for you, but I kind of disagree with that. I feel like you can miss what God has for you if you're not putting in the work and if you're not prepared to receive it. Like, he cannot give you anything until you're ready for it. There's a lot of people who miss good opportunities in life, or miss their blessings, or even missed out on a person that God had for them just because they weren't ready to receive it. He's not going to give you anything if he knows you're going to self-sabotage it. When me and Vanilla were talking, I was trying to find any way out. It made me feel very vulnerable, and I didn't like that feeling. Like, I would purposely take forever just to text him back sometimes. I was doing a lot of little things too. That's why I said you can't always like try to point the finger at somebody else, especially when you know you were doing stuff too, because I was doing stuff too. But yes, you can definitely miss out on some of your blessings and even miss out on a person that God has for you when you're just totally all over the place, don't have yourself together, not in tune with God spiritually, because you got to have a relationship with him first before he can even give you a relationship with someone else. God should always be number one. And not only that, whatever your purpose is in life, that has to be top priority as well, because he's definitely not going to give you anything if he knows it's going to distract you from your purpose. Because I noticed, like, when I was talking to Vanilla, like, I would put God on the back burner. I would put like my content on the back burner, and other things that I have going on, it would be delayed just because I'm so worried about a man and worried about spending time with him, and you know, getting mad if I got upset with him. I wasn't in the mood to do anything. I would like want to shut down. God had to break that out of me. He had to reveal that to me and break it on out of me. And had I not gone through that situation, I would have never noticed that about myself. I would have been, you know, carrying on, not even knowing that I had a lot of brokenness in me, a lot of hurt in me, still dealing with a lot of betrayal and backstabbing that I've been through with my family and friends. I was coming in with a lot too. That is something that I had to work on and fix within myself. So right now, I just feel like I'm in my pruning season. God is like prepping me. Every day I'm just like learning new things, just spending my days getting closer to God, and just like trying to find ways to better myself. Another thing that I did like about Vanilla, he will always push me to do better. He will encourage me to put out my content and encourage me to do all the things that I said that I was going to do. It's always good to have somebody to push you. And just because I seen the way he was with business and everything that he was doing, because he was so consistent and very, very disciplined, that like ignited like a drive in me. Just seeing the way he was. I never seen no man say he was going to do something and actually execute it and do it. Like, I'm used to people just talking about their goals and throwing stuff out in the air and saying what they're going to do and not doing anything. This man says he's going to do something, he does it. If you want to date somebody or be in a relationship with somebody, make sure that they about their business too. That separation was needed in order for me to better myself and to start healing and addressing some of the things that happened to me in my past. As far as vanilla goes, do y'all want to know what happened after that? Well, y'all have to stay tuned. But I do want to close out this video with some scripture, because you already know I like to end my videos with some scripture. And the closing scripture that I'm going to close out with is from Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 through 6, and it reads, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths." So I chose this specific verse because I felt like during the time that I was talking to Vanilla Boo, because I was like really certain that he was kind of the one, and not understanding why things had to end the way they did, and why I had to experience like another heartbreak, because that's what I had to go through. I told myself, like, after my last relationship, I promised myself, I'm like, I'm not going through another heartbreak. And then when I started talking to Vanilla and I swore up and down he was it, and you know, we stopped talking, I was already hurt. I was hurt by God. I was just hurt. I was upset with myself because I felt like, you fool, you idiot. Like, how did this happen to you again? God has said to me, like, stop leaning on your own understanding. Trust in me and acknowledge me in all of your ways, and everything else will be added to you. Even though I didn't understand like why things ended the way it did and why I had to go through what I went through, it was a reason and a purpose behind it. God's ways are not our ways, and his thoughts are not our thoughts. So it was definitely a reason behind it. I grew from it. It made me stronger, as always. Anything that you go through, God is always going to get the glory out of it. He's always going to strengthen you. And what God would do is he teaches me how to have endurance. He'll teach you how to endure certain things, and teach you how to have long suffering, and prepare you to enter your next. So don't ever think you're going through something for no reason. Just know that God has a plan. If it happened, if something didn't go the way you thought it was supposed to go, or it's not going the way you think it's supposed to go, just know that God is going to make good out of it, and it's a reason for everything. And do not, I tell you, do not give up on love, okay? If you haven't found the one yet, that just means it's not your time. Or you could be talking to the right person, but it's just not the right time, and it's not the right season for you guys to come together. So that is all that I have for today's video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for my next video.
I hope you know what it's taking.